And joining us this morning to do justice to the papers is Honorable Hubert Oragui. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Hubert is a public affairs analyst. So together we'll be looking at the papers this morning. We'll begin with ABS website, where we'll have INEC others urged to intensify voter education to reduce invalid votes. Voter education, politicians urge to enlighten supporters on voting process. Obiano drums support for ABGA candidates, reassures on sustaining tempo of work on road projects. Anambra electorate asks to reciprocate Obiano's good governance by voting ABGA candidates. Registered voters asked to visit wards to collect PVCs. Anambra Police Command parades 19-year-old student for stealing female underwear for alleged ritual purposes. Those are the stories on the front on ABS website. So if you want to get the details and more, you can log on to that site.
Yeah, let's keep rolling.
All right. The issue of voter education was paramount in the stories we read from ABS website. Do you think we are doing enough in this regard, especially when it concerns invalid votes?
I think voter education is a continuous process. You will never perfect in that. But again, so far I don't think we've done justice to that voter education as far as vote selling and vote buying is concerned. You find out that so many people out of what they call hunger sell their votes to politicians. So if those who actually buy these votes are smaller in number than those who sell the votes. So if we actually want to do voter education, we're not actually educating the politicians, we're educating the voters. So what we need to do is to keep telling the voters that what they're doing is selling their future and the future of their children, if you understand what I'm saying. Because in the villages, one man was asking me the other day, we are so hungry, and if they present money to us, why can't we accept the money? And I said, if you accept this money, what it means is that you've mortgaged your children's future. You know, that is what they need to actually understand, that even if you pray for your child to succeed tomorrow, and then you mortgage his future by selling your votes, then your prayers come to nothing.
And we are sure that even without accepting the money, that the future of the children are not mortgaged by the politicians anyway.
Well, the truth is that you have to do your best in life and then hope for the very best. But for as long as you sell your votes, then you've joined hands with the so-called corrupt politicians to mortgage your own future and the future of your family.
Okay. Obiano drums support for ABGA candidates, reassures on sustaining tempo of work on road projects. That's another headline we'll have coming from our website. So what do you have to say?
Well, from history, Obiano has always been a very good governor, from what I understand. He's done so many projects in Anambra State. So far on the scorecard, I believe his scores quite high. So drumming support for ABGA candidates, yes. For as long as they see politics the way the governor sees it, for as long as they are not corrupt, for as long as they're getting there through the right channels. I mean, I know that in the primaries there were stories and there were stories, you know, but let's hope that all those things have died down and people have taken corrections, you know.
And proper reconciliation in place.
Well, let's hope there's been proper reconciliation.
Okay.
Let's just hope.
The issue of losing underwears is becoming rampant these days, and we're seeing 19-year-old student who was promised 80,000 naira by some people call him his employers. How far are we going? How are we moving from here with this rate of crime, this kind of crime increasing daily in our society?
You see, the truth is that personally, I'm quite skeptical about all this stealing of women's underwears, because I personally begin to wonder what we actually use, you know, women's underwears to do and why you need to steal it. If actually it works, there are other ways of getting these underwears than stealing them. You know. What do you mean, which other way? There are 1,001 ways of getting them. You want me to do a running commentary on that? Because if it actually works, what I'll do is that when I go back to London now, I mean, there are so many underwears hanging out everywhere. I bring like 200 of them, and then I become a millionaire. You know. So I think this is partly superstition, and I begin to wonder, when you now go to court, I think you'll be charged with stealing an underwear. When you now go further to talk about stealing it for purposes of rituals, you have a lot of proving to do. You know, what ritual actually? Does our law believe in all these rituals? Our law doesn't believe in all these rituals and witchcraft and so on and so forth. So he will only be charged, as far as I'm concerned, with stealing underwear. But to say that he stole it for ritual purposes, I doubt how he can prove that.
What if it's his confession?
What do you mean by his confession? He could have confessed under the influence of anything.
All right, let's move now to national dailies. We'll begin with the Daily Sun. And on the front page of the Daily Sun, we have, beside the nameplate there, Atiku in U.S. to meet government officials, Nigerian community, to address Chambers of Commerce audience in Washington. Governors demand rejig of cheering formula, hinge payment of 30,000 naira minimum wage on increased allocation. Elections, Rivers APC Guba, SDP presidential candidates not on INEC final lists. No Guba candidate for APC in Zamfara. Boko Haram, 3 soldiers, scores of terrorists killed in Borno shootout. Human Rights Watch indicts federal government on security, says 1,200 people killed in 2018. Onoe, court extends order against trial to January 28. Those are the major stories that we have on the front page of the Daily Sun this morning. And the big story of yesterday, people started shouting when finally the presidential candidate of the PDP saw himself in U.S. after 12 years.
The question is, why is that an issue that the presidential candidate can or cannot go to the United States of America? You know, why is it an issue? How does his visit to the United States put food on the tables of the... You see, I think we really have to reset our psyche in this country. You see, what is most important is putting food and water on the tables of the poor masses. And not about whether our president is able to go to London or US.
But when you
he does that for economic purposes.
When you consider from the fact that his opponents are saying that he has corruption issues to answer, that was why he was denied visa into entering into US. And when his opponent is anchoring his campaign on the fact that he will fight corruption, I think he raises concern when he's not able to enter some countries because
the truth is this,
alleged
it is all right for you to allege that one is corrupt. Have you been able to prove anything?
Just 1 minute, let's see. Let's join us. Yeah, hello. Hello, could you please stand down the volume on your TV set? Turn it down so that we can hear you. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning. Am I on?
Yes, you're on. Go on. Let's say.
My name is Mitchell. I'm calling from May.
Okay, go on.
Talk to us.
Please, I'm calling in respect of the PVC hearing.
All right.
My wife registered in May with us, and when she went to INEC and pick her PVC, they asked her to for the clearance and clearance 2 times, and did not get.
I wonder which of the headlines you are addressing now.
Well, one of the stories from our ABS website. But I think he should call back and his voice was cracking. All right, still on the Daily Sun. Okay, you were saying something about the corruption.
I begin to wonder why is it an issue? If Atiku is corrupt, has it been proved that he is corrupt? You know, so I believe that is political statement to say that for him not to go to America is because he's wanted in America for some corruption issues. Now that he's there.
Hello, we have someone joining us. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Okay, let's go.
So now that Atiku is there, let's see if they charge him in America with corruption issues. Because if they don't, it means that all the statements they've been making all this while about him being corrupt, and for that reason cannot go to America, is political statement and total falsehood.
All right, governors. Okay. Governors demand rejig of cheering formula, hinge payment of 30,000 naira minimum wage on increased allocation.
Yeah, I keep talking about this rejigging of the sharing formula and all the projects that we've been doing, especially the White Elephant projects. You see, and 30,000 naira minimum wage. What the governors, I think, should be talking about is whether this 30,000 is there anything at all, talking about the economy and the market that we go to. I keep talking about living a realistic wage and not minimum wage. 30,000 might be minimum wage, but it is not realistic. And even if the whole thing is rejigged, the allocation formula, and they get more money, and then they pay 30,000, will that still put proper food on our tables? The answer is no.
All right. Let's move now to the Daily Times. On the front page of the Daily Times, we have new minimum wage. NEC, that's National Economic Council, passes the buck to Council of State as governors hinge payment on review of current revenue sharing formula. Federal government launches $1.1 billion green imperative loan, optimistic of success. Under the banner picture there, we have Nigeria to attract 2 trillion yearly as NEC approves livestock plan. Operation Python Dance 3, not targeted at any person or group. Order stopping CGN's trial subsists as AGF, IGP, CCT absent in court. Police nab man for alleged stealing of female pants for ritual. Those are the stories that we have on the front page of the Daily Times this morning. So the issue of Operation Python Dance is coming up again. The army is saying that this is actually not targeted at any person. Do you feel that statement will allay the fears of
I begin to wonder why this Operation Python Dance is coming up again so close to the election period. I begin to wonder whether it has actually got very good intentions. Because, we have this thing about when we see the army in uniform, we freeze. The populace is frozen when you see the army walking the streets and doing whatever exercise they're doing. So if this is happening so close to the time of election, then it becomes suspect, you see. Because I think that election is a civil thing, and the police should be able to take charge of everything concerning the elections.
I think the issue should be, do we actually need it here in this region? Do we have any security challenge that the army will come out to the streets and
you see, again, the security area is something that you might not be able to delve into so much, because there are things that they know that we don't know. But having said that, the timing of it all feels like, we are being harassed, so to say, but there's nothing they can do that the police cannot do as far as election is concerned. Right, and the timing of it.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from New North.
Okay, go straight to the point. Let's hear it.
Yes. You talked about going for some PDP.
Okay.
And my wife went to New North local government to get her phone at the headquarters of INEC. So they asked her to go to her polling center. And she has gone to the polling center for 2 times and did not meet anybody there. So my question now, and the polling center is one polling center. The question now, are you sure that they are not, they will not pass the politicians? Because you cannot say somebody should go to polling center and go there and not meet anything.
Okay. All right. I think your complaint will be channeled to the appropriate quarters, but your fears certainly will be looked at to see that the answers will be provided.
Why I'm calling for the election is that they should hear it, so the whole world should hear it, that nothing should happen to the BBC.
Okay,
if
okay.
If they talk it to the world, let them make sure they are coming out to share it.
All right.
You understand? And the talking BBC to the world is not supposed to apply in the metropolis. It's supposed to apply only in the rural place where they can identify them.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's go back down to the Punch newspaper. And on the front page of the Punch, we have as the banner headline there, Ochomole, once you join the APC, your sins are forgiven. PDP mocks Buhari over gaffe at Delta rally. Even if I choose the Pope as running mate, 67% of Christians won't vote for me. El Rufai, that's Kaduna State Governor. APC Rivers, Zamfara candidates not on our neck list. 30,000 naira minimum wage, governors demand review of revenue sharing formula. I have arrived in Washington, D.C., says Atiku. Foreign investors withdraw 642 billion naira from stock market. And below there we have, I thought I would die before 50, says Akonde. Court suspend judgment as rape victim, uncle, 2 others die in auto crash. There are other stories on the front page of the Punch, but for now, that's the much we could take this morning.
And let's see the big story there. Oshomole, once you join the APC, your sins are forgiven. Is this actually coming from?
I don't know if I've done it, if it's junk journalism. Because if Oshomole could say a thing like that and it means exactly what the headline says, then I wonder if it's under the influence of anything for him to say that. Because, yes, we've had rumors and stories about people who are being pursued for corruption cases. You know, they've got glaring cases of corruption, and then suddenly they jump into APC and they become saints, you see. But I wouldn't expect that Oshomole, you know, will give some oxygen to that rumor. You know, so if he actually said this, then he's giving oxygen to the rumor. And so if I go and steal tomorrow, all I need to do is to jump into APC and I'm a saint automatically.
But before we move on, let's look at El-Rufai's statement that even if he picks a pope, that Christians will not vote for him. You know, he was being challenged by picking a fellow Muslim as
Muslim
deputy governor.
You see, and I think the problem we have in this country is that we put religion before so many things. And the religion hasn't helped us one bit, trust me. It has divided more than united us. You see? So as soon as we remove ethnic affiliation, romantic affiliation, and religion from our politics, we begin to move forward.
Will that be possible when we know that human beings are naturally tripartite? You cannot remove a human from seeking religious or metaphysical reasons for whatever actions it takes. And looking at the fact that in politics, for El-Rufai, to an extent, emotional intelligence should tell him that in Kaduna State, where there is a high number population of Christians and Muslims, he should consider what both parties will think about his political
I am of the school of thought that the best candidate should be picked, whether it's a Christian, Muslim, atheist, or whatever the person is.
What if he has to say this in Kaduna, where we know that the majority of the population are Christians?
Are there the majority?
And if he knows that they could be there, yes, they are.
Okay.
I was there. If he knows that the Christians are not going to vote him, who will vote? Does that have anything to do with rigging of elections? Because if he's sure he's going to win without the Christians in such a place, I think that's a question mark.
He's sure. What the statement says there, I think I read a bit of the details earlier on. What he says is that he is sure that even if he makes the Pope his running mate, the Christians will not vote him anyway.
And that's what I said, considering the population of Christians in Kaduna, if they don't vote him, he will not win election.
So he might not win the election. If he doesn't win, he doesn't win.
Considering the killings that happened in southern Kaduna recently, where we know is Christian dominated, I think this statement at this point, is it coming at the right time? Is it sensitive enough? Is it politically correct?
Again, you see, power is something that corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Whatever made him make that statement, in the end, it might make him lose the election, which will be a welcome thing to the Christians, come to think of it, if there are other Christians running for the same thing, you know. But having said that, whatever percentage of the Christians they have in Kaduna, I'm not sure. Again, it's all right for Christians to shout, but have they all got their PVCs? You must look at that as well. So shouting from your bedroom that you've not chosen a Christian to be your running mate is one thing. Making it happen is another thing.
All right.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on now to the last paper for... Okay, the Nation newspaper. INEC clears Buhari, Atiku's Ezekwesili, Okotie, others. No APC candidates in Rivers. Kachamu's men listed for Ogun. El-Rufai urges CJ and Ononge to resign. Minimum wage, revenue sharing formula for review. Those are the major stories we have on the front page of the Nation. And we'll take the Guardian as well at the same time. Federal government to review revenue sharing formula over minimum wage. Southern Middle Belt leaders want due process on Ononge. Court adjourns suit halting CJN's arraignment, while South governors are biased by El-Rufai. Minister behind plot to destroy judiciary, Wike alleges. Those are the major stories we have on the front page of the Guardian this morning.
And And I think we have to look at this, the CJN's case. We have seen it in so many papers, but it does appear we're jumping. Let's talk about it now. Southern Middle Belt leaders want due process on Onoya. Of course, you heard from the other paper that the date of the sitting have been moved to 28th.
28th of January.
Yes.
You see, if the CJ, if they go through due process in trying the CJ, then that's a good thing. I mean, nobody should be above the law. You know, of course, the timing of the trial of the whole issue is suspect. If you understand what I'm trying to say, knowing his history with people like Saraki and so on and so forth, then suddenly they wake up to the fact that the CJ has hidden some money somewhere, and so we need to try him at this point and then remove him. And then you listen to the rumors and all you see online about who is waiting in the wings to take over. And then you begin to wonder if there's actually something behind the trial of the CJ. So due process, yes. The whole thing was hurriedly done, and then suddenly it looks like there's something cooking somewhere, that someone is actually waiting in the wings to take over from the CJ, and then from there, you know, do something about the elections, put it that way.
What do you suspect? You, personally?
Well, I want to say what I want to start on in the commentary about what I suspect. But if what we're reading is the truth, then somebody's not doing something right. Why is it at this point in time, when the election is so close, and we know the history of this man with Saraki, why is it at this point in time that, you know, they've suddenly woken up to the fact that he hid some money somewhere? He didn't start working today. That asset declaration wasn't done today. And then suddenly somebody is even saying that the president is not aware of all this. You know,
modeled up anyhow.
So 28 days to the elections, what do you think should be done right regarding CJN's case?
Well, they know what they're doing. They should do it all right. I'm not into the judiciary, but the investigation should be done properly. Everything should come out into the open. And then he should go to court. If he's done something wrong, he should go to prison.
Do you think the CJN should step aside as his case is being handled?
If the law requires that at this point in time he should step aside so that interest, you know, he will not influence some people who are going to try him, then so be it.
Okay. Briefly before we go, Theresa May and politics of Britain. You're from Britain.
I'm not from Britain, actually. I'm in Nigeria. You know.
But you stay in Britain.
I think Theresa May is a cat with more than 9 lives. You know, she survived so many. But I can bet my salary that the reason why she survived this last vote of confidence is that nobody is ready to take all the pressure coming from Brexit. If there was anybody waiting in the wings to take that, she would have failed. But nobody is ready to take that, because that will either make or mar you politically.
All right, I like that dimension, but just like you said, I like that description. Maybe these are under Margaret Thatcher coming in 2019.
Oh, well, did I say better or worse than Margaret Thatcher, trust me?
All right, that's how far we could go on newspaper headlines for this morning. Thank you for joining us on this segment. I will still explore our themes for today. We are looking at 2019 INEC election guidelines, as well as how to improve locally made products. So stay with us as we look at these topics. Remember, Honorable Hubert Oragu joined us on this show this morning. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll move over now for our first discussion segment. Stay with us.